Mic check, mic check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. All right, all right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Chart Talk. So
This
today,
is episode 23.
yes sir, episode 23. We've been at it 23 days in a row, and today we're gonna start it off with me going over the charts. And let me go ahead and connect right there. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and be going over the charts, and Peyton will be going over right after myself. Let me go ahead and. Do you happen to have us on you? Do you happen to have your YouTube on, P, or any chance?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. You just keep going and I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me put this volume down on the TV. All right, so so first of all, I'm gonna be going over the dollar. So these are the pairs I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over the dollar, Euro USD, US 30, GBP JPY, and Bitcoin. Those are the three or the five main things I'm gonna be checking out today. And so I'm gonna be looking at the dollar index futures. It is a 10-minute delay, but since there's no real movement in the market right now, I'm still gonna be like looking at that. And so right here.
Yo, let's throw the volume down a little bit on the
Oh,
music.
thank you for the music. Appreciate it. There we go.
And then, can you hide the zoom? Never mind, it goes away.
Hold on, let me go ahead and. I'd be forgetting how to press escape to show. Okay, there you go. I'd be forgetting how that be popping up again, but I forgot that you could just press escape. Okay, so first I'm gonna go over the dollar, and with the dollar, yeah, everything looks pretty solid. I'm gonna enlarge you a little bit more. With the dollar, I was saying, I was looking at this weekly on my own like weekly analysis that I do, because you know, regardless of if I showcase it to it or anybody else or not, I'm gonna do it for my damn self, you know. But I was saying that this is what I was looking at for the dollar, and I was like, there is a possibility that it could hold at the 78.6 over here, and if it does, then that will be the bearish push that we would be looking for. As long as it does, as long as it drops decently. I don't want it to drop super fast, but I was saying as long as it drops and pushes to the downside where it be coming into the C wave, where there's a good amount of volume chilling around over here. I like the opponent control is right over there where I'm aiming for price to come into with this fib zone. You know, I want to see price really come into the 78.6 now. If it does start to creep underneath the 78.6, I will be a little concerned. So obviously what I'm going to, as I would usually do, or I'll usually do my best to, I'll be monitoring how price is getting to that entry. You know, if I'm seeing on some stuff that there's rising volume as price is pushing to the downside, then I'm gonna be not even a little concerned, I'll be a lot concerned, especially if it's ridiculous amount of volume. You know, if it's a ridiculous amount of volume, then I'm not gonna be looking for the buys here. I'd rather just look for the lower time frame change of structure. But either that is gonna, or not even either that's gonna be the case, but this is what I'm really looking for on the dollar. I'm not really looking for it to continue going bullish at this point. It can, but that's not what I'm banking on. You know, and if it does continue going bullish, then I will be looking at this area right here. Ultimately, it's hit the 61.8 already, but I will be looking at the 104.450 area on the dollar to see if price is going to hold here, because ultimately, if I'm not mistaken, I think on the daily time frame, this is the structure that I want to see get broken on the dollar, and then it'll be like, okay, yes, indeed, price will be coming up to the likes of like 110.80. But let me go ahead and first of all delete those and see. Yeah, on the daily time frame, this is the structure to be broken for sure. For me to be like, all right, on the daily time frame, I'm expecting price to come up to these highs. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting because there is a good amount of volume sitting in between these levels. But overall, I am still, like I said, I'm still feeling good about the buys. I just would rather buy down here rather than up here. Although I do see a lower time frame possibility as well on the dollar. You know, I see this little lower time frame, like 15-minute-ish bullish play. I mean, price hasn't necessarily broke. This is the structure that will be broken that will make me be like, okay, yeah, this isn't gonna be a play. But even this is gonna be, it's a little iffy to me. But I did see this on the weekly analysis. I'm like, yo, if this holds at this area, as long as price doesn't like really push up any higher than these equal highs, then this is something that I'll pay attention to see if there's a potential turning point. But based off of the volume, if I'm just looking based off of the volume, right here is a clean area for price to just slip through. So I'm not even really gonna be too much. I'm like I said, it's visible, it's there, but I'm not gonna be paying too much attention to it. Euro USD, I want to get by these real quick so I can let Peyton go ahead and go over, because he's gonna go over way more than likely, he's gonna go over the dollar and Euro USD as well, or the euro. So and this is what I was saying on my weekly analysis as well. I was saying that, you know, there's one of two scenarios that I'm seeing with Euro USD. I'm definitely leaning towards the bears, higher time frame wise. However, I do see that there's this little zone right here with the 786 and the 71% from this low to this high. That price, I mean, it's already came in, crashed at the 61.8, just like the opposite or the inverse of the US dollar, that it can still come a little lower before going bullish. But with the dollar, I mean, with Euro USD, I'm like, I'd rather, if price is indeed going to continue dropping, scenario one, that I want to see on the lower time frame a structure shift for the breakout, and then retracement play would be the bullish move. So again, literally just like the inverse of the dollar. Or scenario two is where we'll get this retracement as price just continues going bullish, because ultimately on the 1 hour time frame and lower, I'm bearish on Euro USD. I'm not gonna act like I'm not seeing these bears over here. I do like the amount of volume that's chilling right here, but again, if price really does, wait, hold on, let me actually add in more volume. But yeah, if price really does slip up to these prices, it can potentially continue going bullish, because ultimately, again, this is the structure right here that needs to get broken for me to really feel good about like, oh, daily time frame, it's now like I'm for sure gonna be looking for bears on EU. But like I said, I'm still willing to play either one of those two moves. Even depending on how this pricing comes down into this zone, I might be down to buy it, but I don't think I'm gonna buy it off, like just off the rip. I think I'm gonna wait for that lower time frame shift to structure.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What about this price on, go to like the 15-minute maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And that fib,
this fib right here,
kind of that bearish fib, yeah, and that price at, like, my fib is at 1.0762.
1.076, yeah, basic, yeah. And this is a play that I'm looking for. This, like, it's just like the dollar, right? Like, there's a possibility that it can hold it to go bearish, but I want to, my main thing is that there's not that much volume right here either. Like, there's a good amount of volume where price is currently sitting at, but then as price gets up there, it's not that much volume, but it is a shot, you know, because there's not, even with the price rising, there's not a rise of volume either. And with the drop that happened, it's like when price really started to drop down and the volume started to increase over here. So I don't know why that keeps happening. Maybe because I have it connected on my laptop, but overall, like, it's a play for sure. But I want to see what it looks like by tomorrow, because this could be something. Let me get this other fib out of here. This could be a CPI play where price can literally just come up here and then push to the downside. Definitely can. I'd be down to play it, but overall, if this doesn't work out, then the next play is definitely going to be I'm selling up here. Or if this doesn't work out but ends up pushing to the downside, then I'll be waiting for that second scenario. So that's like a third scenario type of thing I'm waiting for tomorrow for sure. Like I'll be watching and I'll be like, hey, if this actually comes to fruition, I'm more than likely play it. Like if it could, especially if it could do something like this where it like pushes to the downside a little bit and then it gets up there by tomorrow, that's too much time. Let me see. So from here, oh, no, let me not do that. Let me do on this current candlestick. So getting down here would take 3 hours and 45 minutes. Like if it's just like what I'm projecting, like right here, right? And then another freaking 10 hours to get there. Like that'll take a little too long for tomorrow's news. So we might not get that, and price might just start, like it might retrace, come down to this little 5-minute support, and then come up to 1.07622, realistically speaking. And that will make it not look the best, but I'll still shoot, honestly. It all depends on what that volume's looking like before like news as well, because if the volume's looking ridiculous, then I don't think I'll do it.
Right.
So that's for EU. Let me review this. Let me go over this this US 30 trade that I called out today. You know, this was a trade that I was like, you know, let me actually go back in time over here. Boom. Oops. And I was like, I'm looking for a price to, you know, it's in this range that has been ranging since for 3 or 4 weeks now. And I was like, you know, this bearish move that it made, it looked pretty decent. And I did see that this volume was superior than this one. And then even this volume, it happened at 2 p.m. But I was like, well, this is just opening bell volume, and then after that, volume died off. So I was like, you know, I will be expecting I would expect opening bell volume to take price up to these highs. But if price holds at this supply level, including this untested volume, which let me go ahead and bring that out. This untested volume right here, including that, then I'm willing to go ahead and sell right here, and even be willing to be in a little bit of drawdown before price pushes down. And there is this little triangle that price was forming, and I was like, you know, it's either gonna break out to the upside or it's gonna break out to the downside, and I'm willing to shoot the shot at it regardless. So me seeing all that, I was like, you know what, I'm down. If it I think I talked about it around, where is it? I was talking about that around over here, okay, I see price pushing to the downside a little bit. So got price, came into the pricing, and then there was, of course, you know, 8:30. Like I said, I was expecting the opening bell volume to come in to get us into the trade. But then the next candlestick volume as well was just as bullish or just as high as the previous candlestick. So that's when it's like, okay, that's kind of iffy. And, you know, price was playing around with us for a little bit. It was consolidating up over here for a little bit, and then it decided to go a little bit higher, drop down. And it gave us hope. It gave us hope when it came to these highs and then dropped down. We were actually like, if it continues going bearish, then we're gonna try to get out the trade, or we might just hold it. But ultimately, price just came and hit stop loss. And, you know, as of right now, it just looks like it's a stop hunt. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is gonna continue going bullish, and I'm not gonna play it today. I mean tomorrow, more than likely, unless it's some type of buy stop at these highs. And if it's gonna be a sell, I'll look for. I'd want this structure right here to get broken, at least for me to look for sells. But that, again, that's on some tomorrow stuff. I would really have to look at it tomorrow morning for me to get a better look at what I would play tomorrow when it comes to the sell stop. But as of right now, like I said, if it breaks these highs, it's gonna keep going bullish. It is more than likely gonna even surpass 34,404. If I would put a number on it as to where I believe it would head up to, I'm leaving that untested volume there. Yeah, I remember I was talking about how there's still a little bit of good amount of volume right here. But yeah, definitely, if I were to put a number on it, I would say like 3, 4, 6, 7, or 6, 8, 9, like around these highs right here. I think that's a decent level of structure that price could literally like just go and chill at. I mean, realistically, right here is much better, but just because it's cleaner with these equal highs right there. We're not equal highs, but resistance. It just makes it a little bit look better. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be looking at. 78.6 on this higher time frame. Still very much watching. Still very much interested to see what the Dow Jones is going to do on the higher time frame here. But I am still looking for the bears. Ultimately, higher time frame. Lower time frame, as in tomorrow, buy stops are preferred. To, like, again, even to get up to 3, 4, 6, 7, 6, buy stops are preferred. Okay, so that's for Dow Jones. And then last but not least, GBP JPY. This was a fib that I saw earlier today, and I was just like, you know what, I don't feel like playing this right here because I'm already, like, I have a more of a bullish bias than a bearish bias on GBP JPY, but that doesn't mean that I won't play any bears, right? But the way how price was climbing up here, it was a little too one-sided. It was like one way the whole way up there. If it would have been right here, if like not even like, let's say that it would have made this choppiness and then price would have came and it would have just got me in the trade at the 78.6, maybe that would have been slightly better. But I don't like how it came down and then just went straight to the upside like that. The volume wasn't there, so that's something that I would have been like, okay, that's interesting. But overall, I didn't really care for the play, and I'm still looking for price to really go bullish. Like, I want price to make this ABC pattern to the upside up over here at 168.481 before I look to short GBP JPY. That's like higher time frame status. But going on here right now is not the best play from this low to this high for a fib opportunity. I don't care for it. I'd rather just wait for a breakout at this point. Oh, wait, hold on, I need that up there. That's like thing TP3 from selling, I mean from buying from down here. But like ultimately this buy stop would be the best bet for GBP JPY. I don't like this little equal high right here either, but I feel like if this buy stop does happen, then depending on what the structure looks like on the 1 hour, you could possibly get like a 1 to 2 play off of it. But again, it's going to depend on what it looks like when it gets up to this high. So this is what I'm talking about right here, like this GBP JPY bullish move that happened. Like, it is like on the lower time frame breaking these little structures, like it's making higher highs and higher lows. This was the most previous, I would say that this is the most previous higher. No, this is the most previous higher low. This is the most recent higher high. So as long as price doesn't break through this low, yeah, again, like I said, I do see this possibility for the bulls. It was a pretty, like, it's not like a straight up impulsive move to the upside, but it is a bullish move that can be respectable. So it's like, we'll see what happens. Like, where the volume's sitting at to these lows. Let me actually add more volume to the screen. Yeah, I'm not against buying right here either on GJ tomorrow at 158.335. I'm not against it. I forgot what this alert was. It might have to get changed. Oh no, it's
the volume
GJ
profile. The volume profile saying if it gets any lower,
that is just gonna slip down. Yeah, absolutely. So I have an alert set for this GJ. I'll look for that tomorrow for 158.955. Dow Jones, I'd have to look at it tomorrow morning. Euro USD, I don't want to set the alert at the 61.8 because I feel like it could just get there tonight and then consolidate from there. So I'll set it for the 71% for tomorrow. And I mean, I don't need to put an alert on the dollar necessarily, but I'll go ahead and still do it regardless. So this is the other US dollar chart that I usually like look at because it's not a 10-minute delay. And again, I'm gonna put it at the 71% because I just feel like it can definitely reach that 61.8 by tonight, and then just consolidate. So put those alerts on. EU got it set a little higher than I wanted to, but it's okay. And then GJ right there. And Bitcoin, you know what? I'm gonna leave Bitcoin to you, and we can talk about that together. Because I'm kind of tired of talking. I want to hear your voice now.
That's cool. Okay.
All right, so let me go ahead
let's check this out.
and give you that share.
Perfect. All right, let's look at this. Let's go over here, and I was actually just looking at this, and what this is on the screen is.
Oh wow, I did not know how much of a menace I look like on the camera. It's because I just have it dark.
But what this is right here is a basically kind of an index of the NASDAQ stocks that are above the 200-day moving average. Okay, so it's kind of hard to read, but what it's basically showing is when this is basically above this center line, the stock market or the NASDAQ market is kind of bullish. But when it gets up here into this level, that's when you want to look for the NASDAQ to reverse. So I want to show, let's throw the NASDAQ on here. The NQ, that's fine.
Gotcha. There you go.
And let's just look at this because you'll be able to see it even with this weird like inverted mess. Every time, and not every single time, and really, man, I wish they would do this better so we can look at this cleaner, because I just can't handle that look. I gotta give it a cleaner look. So let me go to the futures and go to this. Okay, NQ1. I think if I go like this and do NQ1 and then do the new price scale, it'll be better, maybe.
It looks better.
Okay. Here's what I want to show basically is that whenever, and this is always kind of bullish in a sense, but these moments where these low points in the NASDAQ 100 daily or 200-day moving average index right here was an extreme low, and that was an area where the stock market or the NASDAQ went completely bullish. Here's an area where it was at its kind of peak in this area, and you can see here that was kind of COVID top. So this guy will give you a really good indication whenever of like when something is when the market is overbought or oversold. You can see here's another one where the NASDAQ in 2018 made this drop right here, and we're on a weekly chart, guys, so recognize that this was from September to December, a nice big, almost half a year and at least quarter of a year drop right there. And then once this hit here, kind of this bottom area, we had a bullish move up. So what I'm seeing on this is basically we're coming in to an area where we have rejected before, but I think we still probably end up going up a little bit higher. And then once we get into here, that's when we'll really have more macro evidence that we are kind of overbought and the market should start to roll over. Because right now, yes, it's throwing wicks, and if we go into the daily, we just put in a nice bullish candle. So it's not really yet, you know, it needs to kind of break some structure. If this is going to shift, we need to put in just at least one bearish structure shift of a day for me to really, really, really be expecting the NASDAQ to shift right now, because every stock in the NASDAQ right now is pretty much bullish. Now, for just one day's worth of pop, that could happen. And let's talk CPI real quick, because that's what's coming tomorrow is CPI. So just want to look at what the numbers have been again really fast. The month-over-month numbers. Let's go back into here. They were looking okay. I want to look at the, not the month-over-month really, but the year-over-years, but I think is more important. Okay, perfect. So they were crazy high. At one point, they got up into the 9s, and that was in July. And that's been over half a year ago at this point. But even here, guys, they're still ridiculous. And in fact, yeah, they are cooling down, but it's still so high, guys. It's still so high. What are they forecasting? A 6.2, which is a cool down still. Here's the thing. Right now, I feel like nothing really is getting better, but if the market continues, because it has genuinely cooled off every single month. If it does cool off again this month, it is very bullish for the stock market, guys. It is what it is. It's the investors are going to like to see the inflation numbers going down, especially with the job numbers that we just had last week or the week before. So let's back it up a little bit to I guess it was the week before, on February 3rd, where we had this unemployment rate here and these great, like amazing job numbers. They were expecting this and it just blew it out of the park. They were expecting a bump up in unemployment, so they were expecting like some people to get laid off, and apparently it was amazing. You know, best we've seen in years, I believe. It hasn't been 3.4 in, I don't know, long time, long time. And if I could get this to look better. Yeah, 3.4 hasn't hit in, let's see, 3.2 is down here, so it'll tell you the number up here at the top left. So here's the 3.4, and
3.4 happened in 20. Wait, did it happen in 20? No, 3.4. Oh, okay.
So it hasn't happened since. Well, it hasn't happened in just
forever, basically.
Since it was just so long, which is amazing. It's very bullish, but the thing is that they're saying that they're gonna, big companies are saying they're gonna start laying off people. So it's kind of like a weird divergence in a way, but nonetheless, guys, it's just like when you're trading the charts and it makes like a bullish candle, then it breaks through all of resistance. But who are you to really say that that's fake, unless you are in a perfect, beautiful distribution pattern, right? This is one of those things where it's like, hey, the numbers look good. If the numbers come out tomorrow for CPI and they're good, then, I mean, we really should expect these indices to make a move to the upside. And it's just, it's not unfortunate, but you know, we've had this bearish bias on it for a long time, but it's like the Fed keeps coming through and giving the market exactly what they said they're going to do. And so, you know, this is continuing this uptrend here. Obviously this uptrend here, it held just beautifully with this reversal pattern right there. Now, if you go on to the intraday time frames, and I'm using the S&P only because The Dow is just completely sideways, and AB really already said exactly what I would say about the Dow, to like the down to the exact price, where
Ah,
it's
that's
in a
funny.
range and you can see it. It's just these levels are pretty
That's funny.
clear to me, very easy range to look at. We do want to wait for it to kind of break, but if it breaks this level during news tomorrow, I think just like AB said, I think this level is just a clean area. I think it'll probably smoothly break past this high and go into this area, and ultimately could go way up there, but I'm not going to call that big of a move. I think that's, and that's not even that big. That's only 2.2%, and for the Dow, that's easy to happen in one day. But we would just take the smooth ride. Now, for anyone looking to play that buy stop, I'm not here to tell you how to trade, but here's how we are going to play it. If the market coils up here, which it already is kind of just going low volatility, and even if it does this, and then comes down here and then has a big O candle like this, what we would be looking for, wherever the market makes its last little baby low or last little wick low, and if it's this, so be it. If it does not make a lower low than this all night, that's probably your safest stop loss bet, because it's important. You want to find your stop loss first, honestly, and then you want to know your target. So we know our target is going to be up here. The market's going to break up, and it's either going to be a buy stop, or you're going to have to wait for a candle to close. Either way, you probably want to just get in somewhere around there. We're going to put the stop loss below this.
Definitely want to wait for a candle close above that structure.
Yeah, like on the news, it's
different.
Up to you, really, because the news is probably gonna just either, like, I don't know. Every news event is different, and we should all know that by now. But volatility is the highest during news, so it could just pop straight into this level. But either way, it's perfect risk to reward. So as long as it has a good look to it before news, we might buy stop this, because the risk reward is there, right? If it does this right before the news, it really might be a fake out. And I think, or not even right before the news, I even think if it does it with good numbers, and this is kind of getting a little fundamental with it, but if it does that move down and we have good numbers, it's probably, I don't want to say a fake move, but because it's ranging, it's really hard for me to say look for buys right here. But at the same time, if the numbers are good, guys, I think this is going to end up continuing to the upside right now. There's really actually nothing telling me that it should reverse here, other than, we have stopped here a couple times. If you're a supply and demand trader, maybe this is a good, area for you to look for shorts. But to me, how it made this manipulation down here, this move up, the only way I could see this starting to drop now is if we get a big move up and then a huge move back down. And other than that, I think this is about to, it's just really ugly. So let's look at the NASDAQ really quick. And this has just look how much cleaner the NASDAQ looks than the S&P. Than the Dow. So these are looking just a lot more structurally just easy to see. So if you're looking for something to trade a little bit smoother right now, I think these might be smoother, but this buy stop still looks money. I can't lie to that. I can't lie about that. I would say the NASDAQ still has a possibility for the bears, and so does the S&P, but this trend right here looks very ABC like, and we're probably going to bust through that just based off of daily candles. Both of these daily candles, this kind of stopped right at this trend, right at the 61.8. So guys, we're bullish basically, but Um, I wouldn't be it would be funny if it starts to fall now. I guess. Um, More or less waiting for that news to really kick it in or not. Let me get a little bit more price in here. I want to see. This will be really something if this just holds right here. Same with this guy right here. But the way they got up there is telling me that they want to just continue. It really is. So let's look at the dollar because the dollar is going to give us some info for tomorrow too. Boom. Okay. So the dollar held on this kind of double top where it had this divergence, and you can see we had it marked off on the 4 hour, the divergence here. Um, it's a tough area because I still ultimately want to wait to sell it all the way up there, and I still want to wait to buy it all the way down here. So anything in between is technically going to be half risk for me. And this has a really good chance of coming down here. I want to see it just come take a little bit further dip than what this made, and then make this move up. It looks really clean at this point now. So um, anything in between is a little risky, but this would be the area that I like the most on the dollar for tomorrow. If we get price to come down into this level, down into the 1.2, maybe just right up 1 point or 103 area, just a little bit below 103, that might be an area where we look for a reaction. It's hit off of it so many times. I don't know why we wouldn't look for it to hit off of it there, honestly. And if you draw that fib, that is that area pretty much. You know, a little bit lower, but if we go to EU or the euro that I like to look for, this has this point of control, and it would be kind of the inverse. That's interesting. It would be this inverse right here. So if the euro pulls up a little bit, but you see this point of control is sitting right here on the euro. So it's very interesting. If we get this move up, I would possibly, we have rejection, rejection, fake out, move down. So coming back into that area tomorrow during a news event is kind of interesting to me. Even though I think the market still has potential to come up here or all the way down here, there's some areas of volume that are just wide open that haven't been hit. And even on this bullish move up, we have a possibility of that even happening with this volume sitting here. So it's just going to be, we're going to have to see what the market is looking at right before news, and then assess the risk to reward and be able to either take the risk or not, really, because the setups are there, but just that news volatility usually brings in that emotion of yes or no. This sadly didn't hit this 78.6, but it did make this move, and I think it's going to continue to move up. So this could be a good play on GU right here. I do think that is a good opportunity, or the GBPs. So if the pound can come into this level, I'm going to mark this off more like this. I'm going to set an alert here as well. Then I'm going to be looking for this move up. It kind of made this nice correction, big drop, and now it's making these higher highs and higher lows. Higher high, we have a complex correction, and then another move up. So I'll be looking for this to continue to the upside tomorrow. There's good volume right here as well, so this looks pretty clean. If it just
I love
slams
that for my GJ.
yeah. If this slams through like all the way to down here, then it means the dollar is just going crazy. let's see. The Aussie probably get left alone on tomorrow, just because we're just really trying to find moves for tomorrow. And then most likely gonna leave the Swiss alone. And I like looking at the futures first, and then it tells me what's good. Okay, so the yen ultimately held right here, but it's probably going to continue down. I wanted it to go up a little bit higher and then make this move down. So, okay, if yen goes down anymore, GJ is going to continue up, but it needs to correct first if it's going to go down. Or it doesn't need to, but it should. So if we can get the yen to make this move up here at the same time,
yeah, that'd be super perfect.
as this is doing this,
That'd be super perfect.
that's going to be something to look at for sure.
Not sure if it's gonna happen tomorrow, but
No, not tomorrow, but that'll be something to look at for sure, for sure. And then I'm not looking at oil. Let me go into the forex category that I have. UCAD is actually doing what I thought it might do, so that's another interesting thing to look at tomorrow. If this is down here in this area tomorrow, I swear I might have to take a trade on UCAD because it really moves off news, I think. Not I think. It just does. So if this bad boy gets down here, like kind of how I've exactly drawn it, then it has the Wyckoff presence to it. I don't love UCAD, but I do kind of see this possibility right here where it had this fake out move first, and then we test the bottom, fakes the bottom once, has another fake move, fakes the bottom again. Like this has built up some anger, emotions, and everything down here. So I like when I see a lot of fake outs and then I see like it sweep out and make an initial push. I like that. And then it's kind of struggling to drop. It's not like it's just it didn't just go boom right back into it. It kind of struggled to drop, showing that I think there are buyers still present. They want it to come down here one more time and then pop out. We do have bullish divergence. If the dollar tanks to the downside, which if the dollar tanks to the downside all the way down here, then this ain't gonna do. This is actually that could work. But most likely not. Most likely not. If this falls 1.2%. UCAD is going to do way more than 0.36%. So yeah, it would be, I don't foresee the dollar just tanking all the way down into here anyway, but off of big news events, it can definitely do big percentages in one day. So that's 1.4. This was another news event. That's 1%. So we should be anticipating more than just like a little 0.2 or 0.4 even. Like tomorrow could be a day where we see it come all the way down into here. Or we see it break up. Shit, we could see it break up 1.5%. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, if it breaks to the downside like that tomorrow, I don't know if I'm buying.
Well, that's the type of play it could do because it's been
But
like,
then, yeah,
you know what I'm saying, it's been doing that. So
well,
it's
not that it's been, but it's like the volatility can definitely because
that's when it's able to give you it's
no,
definitely possible that it could.
That's exactly what I meant.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to say it's been doing that because we had 12 days or like a whole freaking half a month of the dollar doing nothing. So I don't want to say it's been doing that, but I get what you meant. It's been doing that because of the news,
right.
Not because
of
the freaking dollar consolidating like crazy.
This might be something we look at if everything is correlating correctly with this kind of ABC pattern right there. I'm not fully against that at all. In fact, Let me measure this because this looks too perfect. Okay, yeah, this looks really clean. So with that time and price right there, if this gets here, and it shouldn't be, maybe it will be tomorrow. It could get here tomorrow at this price, and it would be almost a perfect time and price scenario right here. So that's another just, I mean, it would be scary. I'm not going to lie. So it's always scenarios where if it gets there, you can always wait for that lower time frame to shift that structure first. And I'm talking, you could even go to the 1 minute and wait for the 1 minute to shift structure, because if this is the area that price is going to eventually go bullish for the next however long it's going to take, because it probably will go this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this in a picture perfect world. That's March 7th, or yeah, March 7th. So, you know, it's going to create some type of bullish structure within this area first before it does that, if you want to wait. If not, hey, this is a spot that I think is possible. Definitely. This is a trade I've been looking at for a while, and I think this is possible too, but I don't know about the news and stuff with this guy. So, and then I always question if I want to go from here or here, but I think with this impulse, I'm down for that. If I was looking at this as a breakout, you know, this would be the low that I would put my stop loss. So if this comes down anymore, let's look at the pound real quick again. So I would want the pound to do up, then down, really. If I want this to go down, then up. Let's go to the futures, and then let's go to the pound. And I want the pound to go down, then up. So this euro is looking perfect for me. Wait, I want the pound to go down and up. That means I need the euro to go up then down. Not perfect, not perfect. This is going to do this, then I'll have to reassess. So we'll see. I need to put an alert right here. And once it gets there, I might play these lower time frames, because here on the 1 hour, ooh, this has a bear flag starting right here. But on the 1 hour, the momentum is still just not giving me the best divergence look. I see the last wave that it made down here. It kind of equaled here, and it also equaled here basically. So everything's congruent still, which means this should give another leg down regardless. And then on that moment, we might get divergence. But there's a little bit of volume down here that hasn't been tested. Let's see if there's any on the 4 hour. No, not really. Well, I'm still interested in this because it looks just really beautiful. It just too clean. So I got an alert there for that. GU, I like what you said about that. Still waiting for this guy way up here, ultimately. GA coiling up down here. Something could bust out on GA, so watch out for that if you're one of those traders. If you're one of those guys. Just kidding. But yeah, this thing is looking mighty interesting. If it does break out, it's probably just going to start hitting these levels up. So the first level will stop at right there probably. Second level right there. Third level. Fourth level. And if it breaks to the downside, these levels pretty ugly though until it breaks out. AU, no thanks. UJ, because you're going to probably move tomorrow. UJ is a buy stop scenario as well, with this high being the next level that it's going to get to. And You know, I do like on a higher time frame, 4 hour. We got this wick down here, took these highs out, then we get this move up. Probably see that on UJ tomorrow or whenever. There's a lot of news this week, so this news that we have tomorrow might not even be the news that sets the week off. It could be the fake move tomorrow, but this is kind of a very clean zone that probably has no volume in between it. Yeah, I'm talking this is an easy trade tomorrow too, I think. So I need to put an alert here. See, and not all of these are gonna trigger. Some of them are like corresponding differently. Oh yeah, I like the way GJ looks too, bro, because it did. Oh, look at this. I had these levels marked. I said if it breaks here, it's going straight to here. That's wild. Um, okay, yeah, I like the volatility. It broke out of that. If we get a retracement, I don't like that it's just so sideways, but I do like the move up. Let's see how the volume was looking here. And not very good, but momentum definitely more momentum than we've seen through all this, through all that. So I like that look. At least we should get another leg up from that. I'm talking this is about to drop. Hold on. This is about to go into this level. Oh, that's 60 pips. I truly am a little iffy on GJ just because of how sideways it is. I would need the pound, or I would, first of all, I would need the pound to kind of retrace and then go up. And we said that's possible, but the yen would need to really, if this is gonna like bust through here, the yen needs to tank. So it's hard for those to do a whole lot of different. The yen has to do it kind of on its own. So I don't know if that's gonna happen tomorrow or not. But this is a buy stop waiting to happen as well. Straight up into this level, big buy stop action, just all the way back into here. Once it breaks this level, I'm talking it should get there quick. EJ, no thanks. AJ, you suck because you missed. And you probably are going to continue up. Yeah, the yens do look bullish. So let's go back to that yen futures and see if we can build a bearish case on this. Yeah, we got a bearish case for it. If we can get this to line up right here, I mean, ultimately, I wanted it to get all the way up here. I don't think we're going to get that anymore. And it's shit. We definitely could. Who am I to say this isn't going to come all the way back up here? Either way, we need to correlate the market with the yen either getting up here and then falling again, or the yen getting up here tomorrow-ish and then falling again. If we're looking for GJ bulls, and really, if this happens, if we get this move up here and then a big like actual drop like this, then what should happen on GJ is we should get this move here, and then this should bust straight through these highs into this level, and that would be just too picture perfect. And at the same time, we would kind of want the pound to give us love doing the same thing. So we would kind of want the pound, if it holds here, regardless, we would not want the pound to stop right here, or we wouldn't want this. We would want the pound to at least go sideways, because if the pound is going sideways while the yen is tanking, GJ is going to pop, because one of the currencies is going to be doing the opposite, right? So As long as one currency is going sideways and the other is doing something, that's when your forex pairs are going to start to move, right? So tomorrow's going to be interesting. There's a little bit of setups that I think we're going to be able to play. We don't love calling buy stops out on or sell stops out on the channel, but this month those have been the only trades that we have not the only trades. We've won a couple, very few, but the recently those are the trades that have like kept our account afloat this month. So um those are they're not harder to manage, but they feel harder to manage because they're not a limit order just sitting there waiting to get hit like our other orders. So if we call a buy stop or sell stop tomorrow, um, you know, that's up to you if you want to play it. We play everything we call. So just know that I really think if I'm going to put my intuition on the line right here, I'm looking for the dollar to actually drop probably. And I say that just because now that I really see this here, if it does go any further, really, it's coming down into this. So let's get some more price into that, see if I can confirm that a little bit. Yeah. So and then it would need to really break this high for me to expect it to go any higher. So I'm kind of leaning, since it's already down here, I'm kind of leaning on the dollar dropping tomorrow. How far? I really don't know. The trade I really want to focus on is the news, the volatility that the news is going to bring. So that is going to make me focus more on like a breakout scenario, most likely, which would be like EU breaking out to the upside, which I don't like that. And let's go up here. EU breaking out to the upside. No, thank you, because I think it could drop. GU breaking out to the upside. No, thank you. AU, no, thank you. USHEF to the downside. That would be like a break of this low and this continuing down. So it's like, no, thank you. My macro perspectives are telling me that this is going to happen. Boom, boom. So I'm trying to find something that looks the best for that. UJ. Okay, so if this happens, UJ is going to be a good buy, maybe down like this, but not yet. Gold. We get a tank in the dollar. Gold is going to do a move, big move. Watch for that. So we can watch for this level to break. And that's a very long ways away. So my goodness, I wouldn't even probably get a play on that. Bitcoin. We haven't talked crypto at all today, but that's because it's annoying me right now. No, I'm kidding. If the dollar tanks tomorrow, Bitcoin's going to make this move back into this level, maybe even all the way back up here. So where this point of control is. This is definitely something that we are extremely interested in on the macro. And I'm almost tempted to do this because it broke this structure so clean. I just don't think it's going to get back into this range. I just think it's going to hold this range low right here and then make another move down. But either way, I'm going to put an alert here for Bitcoin. If it does come back and retest this range here, I'm going to have to just look for shorts, because to me, this is kind of the end of the distribution. We get this move down. We're going to get one more move, and then we'll probably get into this area pretty quickly. And this is kind of what that psychological chart looks like that everyone references. That's what I think is going to happen. We had the rising wedge with the divergence, major divergence, and now we're getting a big drop in the MACD. Everything's signaling for this thing to continue to the downside. So it could even just do this, fake and drop. I think that is a big possibility. There's definitely still a chance for the Bulls here. I'm not gonna lie. There's still a chance for the Bulls, but if it goes kind of any lower than this here, which is another point of control that hasn't been hit yet, if it goes any lower than that, guys, the market could tank tomorrow. So if I'm wrong about this, the dollar's just stupid bullish, okay, and the market just goes and hits this level, um, which it really is going to do either one of these probably big percentage moves tomorrow, um, then this thing could do this full move to the downside in like 2 or 3 days. It's only 20%, and it can literally just do one day 6%. Second day, probably a little more because that was a big day, 9%. And then the next day, chill out a little bit and come here and hit like another 7%. And boom, boom, boom. That would be the move on Bitcoin that we'd be waiting for. uh, I think Ethereum looks a little bit crispy cleaner, just because you could move the fib just a little bit versus Bitcoin. This fib is like a bit different. But either way, I think Ethereum is the same type of look. Once it comes back up into this area, it's a pretty solid look to me. I'm going to put this point of control out here and put an alert on that. Now, I don't expect the market to get there tomorrow. So, I mean, if it does, that's an 8% move in one day. Everyone's going to be extremely bullish on cryptos if that happens. Did this come in and close this gap like perfectly? Damn near. That's crazy. If any of them are going to do a crazy pop, it could be Ethereum, but I'm not. I'm expecting more bears, guys. So, well, more bears after this, right? This is kind of showing you not a lot in between here, so we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow, guys. No limit orders or anything tonight. It's going to be that news. We might go live for the next wave students for show, because this could be a big mover tomorrow. So that's all I got. How you feel about tomorrow, AB?
Tomorrow's interesting. Tomorrow's gonna be an interesting day, but I like what you have marked up and all that jazz. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I do like what you have marked up and all that jazz. So we're gonna see what's up for reals, for reals.
For real, it's gonna be an interesting one. I think because of this, really right here and right here is like what's got me super interested. How there's just nothing in between that. I'm talking nothing. So, and this is a good example of what happens sometimes when there's no volume. Sometimes it rejects it, and it comes right out of it. And so it might come into this and make this move up. We don't know. But I really hope it just breaks it and gives me an easy play tomorrow. So, all right, y'all. We'll be back on tomorrow. We'll get to talk about what happened. We'll get to see, really what's good with the rest of the news that we got this week, because there's a bunch. And, yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow.